Narcissism and the spirits behind it. Narcissism refers to a personality trait or a psychological condition characterized by a heightened sense of self-importance, an excessive need for admiration and validation, a lack of empathy for others, and a tendency to exploit or manipulate others for personal gain. Individuals with narcissistic traits often have an inflated view of their abilities and achievements, believing they are exceptional or unique. They may seek constant admiration and attention from others while having difficulty acknowledging or understanding the emotions and perspectives of those around them. Additionally, they may exhibit a sense of entitlement, expecting special treatment and becoming frustrated or angry when their expectations are not met. Narcissistic behavior can manifest in various ways, such as grandiosity, a belief in one's superiority and a tendency to exaggerate achievements or talents. Lack of empathy, difficulty understanding or relating to the feelings and needs of others. Need for admiration, craving excessive admiration and attention from others to maintain a positive self-image. Exploitative behavior, using or manipulating others to achieve personal goals or fulfill one's desires. Fragile self-esteem, despite outward confidence, a narcissist may have a fragile self-esteem that is easily bruised by criticism or perceived slights. Narcissism exists on a spectrum, ranging from traits that are relatively common in many people to a diagnosable personality disorder known as narcissistic personality disorder, NPD. NPD involves a pervasive pattern of grandiosity, a need for admiration, and a lack of empathy that causes significant distress or impairment in various areas of life, such as relationships, work, and overall functioning. It's essential to note that while narcissistic traits can cause interpersonal difficulties and emotional distress for both the individual and those around them, seeking professional help and support can be beneficial in managing and addressing these traits effectively. In a spiritual context, narcissism can be understood through the lens of various biblical principles and the influence of spiritual forces that can manifest in human behavior. While the Bible doesn't specifically use the term narcissism to describe this personality trait, its teachings shed light on the spiritual aspects behind it. The spirit of pride, the root of narcissism, can be traced back to the spirit of pride. In ancient times, the Bible warns about the dangers of pride through the story of Lucifer, who became proud and sought to exalt himself above God, Isaiah 14:12-15. This spirit of pride has persisted throughout history and is often the driving force behind narcissistic behavior, leading individuals to see themselves as superior to others and demanding unwarranted admiration. The spirit of selfishness. Narcissism is closely linked to a spirit of selfishness, where one becomes overly focused on their own desires and needs, disregarding the well-being of others. In the Bible, the Apostle Paul warns about the consequences of selfishness in 2 Timothy 3:1-5, describing it as a characteristic of people in the last days. The spirit of deception. Narcissism can involve manipulating and deceiving others to maintain a self-aggrandizing image. The Bible speaks of Satan as the father of lies and deception, John 8:44, and his influence can be seen in the deceitful tactics employed by narcissistic individuals to protect their fragile self-image and exploit others for personal gain. The spirit of idolatry. Narcissism can lead individuals to idolize themselves and seek constant admiration and worship from others. In biblical times, the Israelites struggled with idolatry, worshiping false gods instead of the one true God, Exodus 23:6. Similarly, narcissistic individuals can place themselves at the center of their own lives, seeking validation as if they were their own gods. The spirit of unforgiveness. Narcissistic individuals often struggle with forgiving others and holding on to grudges. In the Lord's Prayer, Jesus teaches the importance of forgiving others as we seek forgiveness from God, Matthew 6:9-15. The inability to forgive can lead to bitterness and a self-righteous attitude, further fueling narcissistic tendencies. Modern research in psychology aligns with these spiritual insights, recognizing the correlation between narcissistic traits and issues such as excessive pride, entitlement, lack of empathy, and manipulative behavior. In summary, narcissism can be seen as a manifestation of various negative spiritual forces, including the spirit of pride, selfishness, deception, idolatry, and unforgiveness. These spiritual influences, along with psychological factors, contribute to the development and perpetuation of narcissistic behavior. By exploring these spiritual roots and heeding biblical teachings on humility, selflessness, and genuine love for others, individuals can seek healing and transformation from narcissism's destructive tendencies.